We're live. It is 3:04 Central Standard Time, 9:04 Greenwich Mean Time in the UK. It's across the Pondcast, the best podcast you never heard of. Sam and Matt at the helm, steering the ship off a cliff into an iceberg, wherever, who knows. And if you're watching the stream, we have an awesome guest on the show. We have Matthew Moniz for the first time ever on the show. Sir, how are you on this Sunday afternoon? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. First of all, beautiful name, Matt. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
I know.
It's
we're
wonderful.
definitely unique.
Exactly, definitely unique. But I'm doing well. Thank you guys so much for having me on. I'm looking forward to this.
well, it's our honor. Like I said, we're not exactly the Joe Rogan experience over here. So anytime we can have anybody come on, it's great. And somebody with as much experience in the tech space as you do, and taking your time out. We also know Sundays are kind of a hard time with family commitments and then all the other stuff going on. So we realize your bandwidth is limited. So any time you could spare us, really appreciate it. We're glad, awesome, and we're happy to have you.
I think we should also thank Roger. I think Roger is the one who put us in touch together. Roger,
Absolutely.
Life of Tech. Quick
Life
shout
of
out
Tech, yeah.
To him as well.
Yeah, he's all right. He's all right.
Yeah, he's all right. Yeah,
He's got his moments.
Yeah, he's got his moments.
He's all right. And he doesn't buy his friends fish and chips when they come to the UK.
That Roger.
Right. So we got a good show lined up. So I guess the first question is, how are things up there in Ontario? We know Matt's kind of locked down. I know tier 5 or 15 or whatever tier they have this week. I don't know what they call it.
No, we're in national lockdown now. The tier system's going to come back when we come out of national lockdown.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
God, there's too many layers of that. I can't figure out what's going on. It's like, the color system with like
I
orange
live in here.
No. So how's things going up in Ontario as far as are things kind of locked down?
So we're locked down. I mean, we can go out, but we can't. Everything's closed. Like the only thing you can do is take out. You can go to the grocery store, pharmacy, but you can't go to like Home Depot anymore. If you want to buy something, it has to be curbside. It's pretty locked down. The numbers went up a bit, so they're doing it for the next few weeks. Not as crazy as other countries, just because Canada's smaller in terms of population, but it still feels like we've been locked down for forever, pretty much. I just want this all to be over.
Absolutely. Yeah. But at least your hair looks good, so you don't have
whatever's left
hair.
of it.
Yeah, me too.
Whatever's left of it. Yeah. I began my wife to cut my hair, which I don't know if it's a good thing or.
Right now, does she just get like a Flowbee, like the old Flowbees back in the day, or is she just like rocking
she gets a bowl and she puts it around my head and then she just shaves the sides. The good old mushroom cut.
Nice. That's a good look. That's always good for sharing. So
exactly.
it's Matt.
YouTuber look.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Matt and Sam. So there you go. It's Matt squared and Sam. There you go.
I like it.
So the first
I
question.
should have put my name as the other one, shouldn't I? It's not
the other one.
You should have came up with something a little bit more creative than that. That's okay. You work on it. So
more creative than my name. Okay.
So S21 Ultra and S21 series are out now. Have some interesting comments. So people who are excited about it, some people who are like meh, and then there's like the 21 Ultra and then the other two in this lower kind of clearly differentiated space. Like, what is your feeling about that? Headphone jack obviously is gone. Now we're out of SD card, out of charger. So like, what are your general feelings about the whole S21 thing?
So
you haven't got the mag strip, is it? The US version hasn't got the mag strip either.
The mag strip was
tap and pay.
The MST. Yeah. So they removed it.
I was like,
yeah.
But we have it. We still have it. It's dead weird.
Wait, you do? The UK has the mag strip still?
The Exynos version still have it.
Oh, really? That's so stupid. Because in Canada, it was such a clutch thing. Because it's not too bad in Canada. We're pretty streamlined here. But like, there was the odd situation where the MST came in handy to pay for stuff.
Right.
But it's not the biggest. I know it's more important in the States because it's like the Wild West over there for like banking institutions. But it should be on it. I don't know. This is the way I see it. I haven't reviewed the regular S21 or S21 Plus, just the Ultra. But I get why people are upset. But like at the end of the day, these phones are not being made for that 6% or 5%. These phones are being made for the mass market. And the thing that I kind of look at the most is, what are they doing? Are they increasing the price? Are they dropping it? And if they are dropping it, what are they removing? Is it stuff that most people are going to be upset by? Is it going to hinder the experience? And I feel like things like micro SD cards, as cool as they are just not as important today as they used to be.
Right.
And I feel like there's only a small population who are still carrying their like CDs on their phones.
Right. Exactly.
It's a very small population. But besides that, like I personally feel like the S21 Ultra is and I'm not saying this because it's a new phone for the year, but it's like the best Samsung phone I've ever used.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't too impressed with last year. I honestly, before this year, my favorite Samsung phone was the S10 Plus. You know, like that was my last favorite Samsung. How do you guys feel? Let it all out.
Well, I have mixed feelings because obviously we get different versions. Because you have millimeter wave, we don't.
I don't have millimeter wave
MST. Well, no, these guys.
The Americans. Yeah.
These fucking States people. They got MST.
Yeah.
We got MST. They haven't. They've got millimeter wave. We haven't. They've got Snapdragon. We got Exynos. I'm like, Samsung must be spending so much money making two versions of exactly the same phone.
Oh, for sure. But I think it we got the Snapdragon too because we're in Canada. But I think we got we got the Snapdragon. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, well, because we have the same networks, like our frequencies, except for Verizon, like AT&T, T-Mobile, all use the same networks. The Spectrum, Canada, as they do in the States, so our phones like work on each other's networks. But I agree. You know, there's a lot of people around the world who prefer that Snapdragon processor. I think the reason why Samsung does is they just can't keep up with demand, or Snapdragon just can't produce enough, so they have to make their own. But I haven't looked too much into it, but I heard this year's Exynos 2100 is actually not that bad.
Yeah,
compared to
there's
the
not
year.
been many yet because obviously it's a brand new phone, so the tests will come. But
Right.
from what I've seen, it's improved like they said it was going to be. Because last year was just
it was awful.
It was awful, and the fact that the Note 20, like even now, I can't recommend the Note 20 Ultra over an S20 because the US and that got, and you because you got Snapdragon as well. You got their 8, the Plus. You got an upgrade. And we just got the same Exynos that was in the S20.
Do you think like we notice it? Like I would notice it for sure because like we're looking for that stuff. But like, do you think have you spoke to anybody who's like a normal? And like, have they said something about it, or
I think the only noticeable difference that normal people would recognize would be battery life.
Right. Okay.
Because the Snapdragon did have a big difference in battery life.
Yeah, that's true. There was a big difference in battery life, and
apart from that,
sucks.
no.
Yeah.
The image processing is a little bit different, but not massively. So I think that it'll be all right.
No, go for it.
It'll be all right. It'll just this year, I think. Samsung are doing it for us. They're saying, no, it's better now. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Because last year, people who bought the S20 and the Note 20 Ultra weren't complaining about the Exynos and it was too slow. They were just buying the Samsung because it's good.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And I think it need to be something really big that everyone notices for it to be like a big problem. But it's just like us enthusiasts who notice that kind of stuff because that's what we do, right? But I think like at the end of the day, I think Samsung wants to make all their chips themselves, but
cost effective.
It's more cost effective. They can vertically integrate it. They can do things that other manufacturers can't. But I think the problem is that first of all, they don't have the resources to do it, and they're also making chips for other manufacturers, right? Like I forget if they produce Nvidia's chips for some of their GPUs. Like they have other clients, so they're only stretched very thin, right? But I think the idea would be to make their own chips at some point.
Which is a weird thing to say. Samsung's stretched very thin.
I know, right? It really
is. Just something you wouldn't really think about saying.
Yeah,
they just cannot afford to do.
Yeah. So what do you guys feel about the plastic back on the S21? Is that something that bothers you, or because the price is at $799, it's fine?
Well, it doesn't matter to me because I just put a case on my phone anyway.
That's the thing. Most people do, right? I mean,
if the color's nice, I'll buy a clear case. If it's just a plain phone, I'll buy a rubber case from Spigen or something like that.
I think if they priced it at $999 like they did with the Note 20, then I'd be upset.
Yeah, that's
because
like
you're paying a premium price, but $799 is like mid-range good, like mid-range awesome, right?
It's when people start saying, "Oh yeah, but it's $799," but then you've got this phone at $499, $599 that's glass.
Right.
Literally the Mi 10T Lite, which I am using to film this show right now. It's a £250 phone, brand new.
Right.
Glass back.
Right.
So it's hard to make the argument, but
I know, but then like, are you going to get updates? You know what I mean? From
Xiaomi.
Right?
Oh yeah, from Xiaomi. Xiaomi are really good with updates.
Seriously? I have no idea.
Yes.
Yeah, they are?
Yeah, no, they are, yeah.
Okay.
The Mi 10T Lite is due to get Android 11 in the next few weeks.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I think when it comes to regular people who are buying phones, like the people who are going into an AT&T or to a Verizon or to a T-Mobile store, they just want the next Samsung, right?
Exactly.
And they only really care about three really things. Does it take do a good enough picture where I don't have to mess with too many manual? I can just point and shoot. Does the screen look pretty good as far as brightness? As far as does it look decent? Like, do I enjoy looking at pictures or watching movies? And three is the battery. Do I have to plug the thing in 3 times a day if I'm using it a lot?
Yeah,
I think most people don't care if it's got a plastic back. I don't think they rock an SD card because most people are using cloud storage, or they're not pounding a bunch of data into it. And the third thing is, I don't even think they care about color because for instance, I happen to went to dinner the other night and I had I had this with me.
Nice.
So I rock a Duo, right? So I have my Duo and I'm watching, like I always do, I'm watching this restaurant, and I'd say probably 8 out of 10 people in this restaurant all had iPhones, right? And they're in various states of using them and taking selfies with their food and foodies and all this kind of stuff. And I'm sitting there and I had to scan the QR code for the menu so I'm looking at it, and the guy looks over my shoulder. The waiter goes, "What is that?" I said, "This is a phone."
A phone.
And he's like, "But it's got 2 screens." I went, "Yeah, because it's a Surface." He's like, "Oh, like the computers?" I said, "Yeah, it's like the computer sort. But it's an Android. He goes like, I've never, it just blew him away, right? And I think that's what most people use. I don't think they're really paying attention to the glass back or plastic back. If anything, they'd probably be happier it is plastic because it'd be less likely if you leverage that point at a sale, say, hey, if you drop this, it's not going to shatter the back and the front. You may just break the front, right? So I think people just throwing a case on it anyway, and then of course those cases are going to obscure almost the entire color phone. So I really don't think it matters. I think Samsung knows this, and I think that's what they're pushing against, right? They don't care about the enthusiast market. They're a mass. They either you have an iPhone or you have a Samsung in America.
At least for North America, right? And I can speak for the States too. Like, there's no Xiaomi here. There's no Huawei here. I mean, there's Huawei in Canada, but buys it. But there's no Xiaomi. The only other Chinese brand that's like available is OnePlus.
OnePlus,
right? Yeah. And even in Canada, there's no like carrier that you have to buy it off from OnePlus, and they're not like a big player. But it's basically Samsung or iPhone, and most people in North America use iPhones. But I know in Europe and Asia, like there's a lot more selection to choose from.
Right.
Oh yes,
between
definitely.
various brands, it's a lot more competitive. But yeah, I agree with you. Like I think plastic or polycarbonate gets a terrible rep just because we associate it with cheap. But there's also a lot of benefits to it. You drop that phone, it's not going to crack. It'll get scratched easier, but at least be more durable in the sense that it stays protected. And like you said earlier, most people are putting cases on it anyway. So,
skins.
Skins, this video is sponsored by D-Brand. No, I'm sorry.
No, it's Extreme Skins.
Extreme Skins. Sorry, oops, damn it.
That's okay. Extreme Skins, check it out. We'll plug them later in the show. But like I said, and I had years full of Windows phones and Lumias. I actually prefer the 920 and the 1520 and like the 1020. That soft matte color, that polycarbonate, it was all one color. Even if you scratched it, it was painted all the way through one color. I love those. I mean, I think they were, as far as feel and durability, I think they were awesome.
And you feel like so much more confident holding it. Like when I hold like a thick iPhone, for example, like I feel like it has to be in the case. Like it's just heavy, it's glass. Like if this thing drops, it's gonna break. But a polycarbonate phone, you just feel so confident holding it, even without a case on it.
Right, especially the 920. I think you drop it down a flight of stairs. Oh yeah, it was like it's fine. It's cool. And it had colors. It was like blue and yellow and red, and it was just I don't know. I just think most people are not paying that much attention, and I think they will see that the price is a couple $100 less. And I think that Samsung did that on purpose. I just think that most people, if you're looking at it objectively, wouldn't go for the Pro, the Plus, or the regular 21. You're going to go for the Ultra because of just the differentiation in features. I mean, it's not even close. It's like 2 separate phones altogether. So
absolutely. And I mean, like the only thing I wish they changed about the Ultra, and this is and I think they did a good job with it this year, is that curved edge. I know they did a pretty good job. Like it's not bad, but just stop, please. It doesn't. It looks cool. It looks great, but it provides no practicality. And
right.
And trust me, like I tell people, use a curved screen. You're gonna get used to it. It's gonna feel fine to you. But then like, just stop using a curved screen right after, and I guarantee your hands are just gonna feel like it just won the lottery. When you touch that flat screen again.
It's just not just that. It's watching content as well, because you won't get them horrible green.
Yeah,
exactly. That coloration. And I just don't think anybody's banging the drum like I've got to have the curved screen. It's like nobody's saying that. So why do these companies keep like trying to push that out there? Aesthetics, Samsung. I guess.
Yeah,
it was the Note Edge that started the whole thing.
I remember the Note Edge. And it was now curved on one
Huawei
side.
Have carried it on.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like,
but then the S6 Edge and the cable's like really curved, and then then over the years they've gone backwards. But Huawei have gone the other way. Yeah. They started off with small edges, now they've gone full waterfall.
Yeah. At least the S21 and S21 Plus are flat, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. And Aditya says curved screens are a bane. Yes, they are. Nobody likes them. Nobody likes them. So
they're hard to protect as well, even in a case, because they've got to cut the edge out.
Absolutely.
It's just not good. Just don't do it. It's just like drugs. Just say no. Just say no.
Well, unless they're very good drugs. I mean,
if you got that, the stuff that like the mushrooms or stuff like that, stuff that makes you kind of flippy a little bit, makes for a better day at work. Are you high?
Do not try that at home.
Yeah,
just right. In there before.
Remember, kids, say no to drugs because they got to be careful because my daughter is in the chat, so she likes to troll. So, honey, don't do drugs. Don't listen to your dad. Okay.
And I think another thing too is just like
not when he's around.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I was thinking too, like, with Samsung being such a dominant player, LG was rumored to stop with their mobile department. Sony has no idea what they're doing. They release phones that are like $2,500 now for camera pros that don't work.
Yeah.
And like, I think like the only real major Android manufacturer besides like the Asian companies like Xiaomi and Oppo and all that stuff is basically like just Samsung and Google as a small player. Like there's really not that much major competition now, at least in North America and probably most of Europe from other vendors besides Samsung, Like it's getting to a point where like we need that competition, to keep Android in check. Because you don't want like super duper expensive, crazy Samsung or Android phones in general. You kind of want there to be sort of competition. You don't want everything to be compared to Apple, because then Apple's gonna, Apple is controlling the market, but then just be able to control the market further.
Yeah, and HTC, HTC used to be that competition. LG might be going, and it's just like, imagine.
I don't know about that, because there was rumors years ago about Sony possibly dropping out of the phone market, and they didn't end up doing it. So
now they're releasing 10 phones a year, and it's the same phone.
I love that. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. I'm biased because I love the new Sony phones.
Oh no, the phones are great. My buddy Ash, who is actually from the UK, he just bought a Sony phone. He bought the Xperia 5. Is it the 5?
The 5.2? The 5.2 of the 5.
And he loves it. He absolutely loves it. So and he likes the Google
as well.
Yeah, it is pricier. He likes the Google software experience better from like a Google phone, but he just likes the camera capabilities of the Sony.
Yeah, and that's definitely, if you're going to be buying a Sony phone, you're definitely going to be leveraging it against the camera hardware, right? Because it's really, the phone itself, the UI is pretty good, but as far as like, obviously you're buying a Sony phone, you really want the camera, you want the Sony Alpha chops.
Sure.
That's what
21 by 9.
Just, and the problem is just, I think that the phones like Xiaomi and the Oppos would be pretty competitive in the United States if they just were available, and now with Huawei on the end.
Though. You don't know, because with this OnePlus and Oppo merger, will Oppo become more available elsewhere?
Yeah.
But
at the minute.
OnePlus has been in T-Mobile stores now for at least a couple of years now, and I don't see a lot of uptick.
They've been very separate, so it's an Oppo's. To be fair, I prefer the Oppos. Like the X2 Pro was one of my favorite phones of last year.
Yeah,
hands down. I don't know what it is. The cameras are really good. Yes, there's no wireless charging, but that doesn't affect me. And even if it did, I probably wouldn't use it anyway. So
it's
just there's no chance in America, because you've no Xiaomi. We've got Realme as well.
Right.
Realme, they are
Honor
really good.
Realme's pop of Oppo, or I forget. No,
Realme, Vivo, Oppo, and
Vivo,
OnePlus. They're BBK,
Yeah, BBK. That's right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I just think that if it'd be nice if you could go into an AT&T store or a Verizon store and just have, if you had all those selections, right? If you had an Oppo, if you had a OnePlus, if you had all that in AT&T, the problem is that when you go in, you're either going to go buy an iPhone or the person takes you to the Samsung, and all the other brands are always stuffed in the back of the store that you have to kind of work your way through. It's a shame.
Yeah. Well, Samsung also it has incentives to their employees to sell Samsung phones, so they make more money, right? So
and they're going to sell what they use. If you've never used an Oppo, I know times I used to have my Mate, and I'd walk in with my Mate 30 into an AT&T store to do something else, and like, oh, it's a Huawei phone. I didn't think you could get them. I said you can. You just got to kind of you got to go rogue and kind of go through channels, right? You got to do it. But they've never used it. They have no clue. Even OnePlus, they was like, what?
Yeah.
you're selling phones at AT&T and you've never heard of OnePlus. I can understand not using one, but not even hearing about it. And they're like, nope, I got nothing. I went,
how did OnePlus fly under the radar? I mean, like Xiaomi was banned, ZTC was banned, Huawei was banned. How did OnePlus, Oppo fly under the radar in the United States?
I think it's just because of the telecommunications infrastructure. I think that's how it got on the radar because OnePlus isn't putting in nodes anywhere. They're not really doing infrastructure.
Suck.
Yeah, but Xiaomi's not putting anything.
No, I know, but they're not even they're not on an entity list. They're just on the ban list as far as investing. That's not the same list.
Yeah, but I think just recently you can't sell them. Wasn't it recently, like 2 weeks ago, they got on the list for not being sold parts to, or was that just?
No, they're on a list that they can't. At the end of the year, no American companies can invest
or
divest.
Right, looking right now. Yeah.
That's not that.
Do you have?
Well, that's not. Well, there's two. I mean, that's because they believe that Xiaomi has ties to Chinese military. Right. Huawei is on the U.S.
missiles.
No, and Huawei and ZT are on the United States Department of Commerce's entity list. That's where they are banned from actually doing any components or any. Right, so that's a different list. And I don't think they have a new Commerce Secretary coming in, and they asked her specifically in a subcommittee, "Hey, are you going to basically talk about undoing the Huawei ban?" She wouldn't commit to it. So I don't think the Biden administration is really warm to. Because remember, if you back off of tariffs, it's okay. But if you back off the entity list, then it looks like you're thawing towards China. And I don't think he's 100% sold on that. I think we'll see. I think Huawei's still going to stay on the entity list, though.
I think so too. I don't think it's going anywhere. I mean, like there's a huge trade war going on, and I mean, I'm not going to get to politics.
I can relate to that.
I mean, I'm not going to get to politics, but like, it's probably one of the better, like, probably the only right thing that Trump did.
Right.
Is kind of start that. Kind of because it's always been one-sided, right? So and there's just so much copyright infringement. Anyways, this is a whole nother podcast, but it's all politics basically.
That is this podcast because
this podcast is not political. This podcast is. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go.
No. But the problem is you can't take them off the entity list just for the phones, right? You'd have to remove them from the entire entity list, which means then the telecommunication stuff's back in play. So there's no way to kind of parse that out to be effective. So it's just easier to say, you know what, leave them on the list.
Huawei sell their mobile business.
Well, I mean, Huawei's still here in Canada. I mean, they have a presence here. You can buy their phones in the store.
Oh, but same here. Yeah.
You can't. There's no Google Play Store on it, and like even Huawei Canada, like they are shrinking all their employees. So like I don't know how much longer they're going to be around. At least in their mobile division, right?
Yeah,
I was surprised to see how many people here still use and buy the new Huawei phones, and they don't care that it's not got Google on it.
That makes sense.
They literally, this petal search thing has just apps normal people use, Facebook, this, that, and the other. Just download it, get it, you're done. So there's a lot of people I know that aren't bothered. They're just like, well.
But like, why are they? Okay, but like, what's their reasoning for buying that specifically? Is it because it's priced cheaper, or like what's?
It's priced cheaper, cameras, battery.
Yeah, cameras are good.
They just either they've been with Huawei for a while, or they just like the phones. Because to be fair, Huawei makes some of the best phones on the market.
No, their phones are amazing. I love them.
They're
so good. They're so good. But like, it's just hard for me to like even recommend one of their phones now, just because of the no Google Play Store. That's the only reason, right?
Yeah, but we have to think about me and Matt are more North American centric, so it's pretty much it's a non-starter. Except for me, I've got my Mate 30 upstairs, and I have Google Play services loaded on it, so I'm able to step around it. But yeah, I think just for most people, I think they just like using the phones. It's brand recognition. You're used to using them, and for if you're in Europe or the Near East or Middle East or even in Asia, Google Play services. I mean, hell, people in Korea don't even have access to Google Maps, so it doesn't really matter if Google Maps isn't available. You're not using it anyway, so you can kind of step around it a little bit. So when he asked, so how long have you been doing the YouTube thing, and like how did it all get started? Like, did you like wake up one day and was like, I'm just going to be a YouTuber? We always love to hear origin stories.
That's what we did.
We just walked up and was like, we're just going to do a podcast and be on YouTube because we're awesome. And they're like, we're not awesome at all. So how did all that start for you?
So I started about, I'm going to do this for 24, just about 6 years now. So basically I was working in IT as an administrator. I was doing a bunch of things. I was working in real estate, but I was also working a job in IT. Doing IT admin or whatever, and my buddy and I was like, let's start a blog, let's write tech. That's all we do is talk about tech all the time. So like we started writing our own blog like putting out like 11 articles a day, and it literally got no views, like nothing. It was
crickets.
It was crickets. Like we would get like 50 views a month. It was terrible, but we loved doing it, right? But during that process, I'm like, you know what? Listen, let's try adding video to it. YouTube is, everyone's talking about it. Let's get into it. It's already, it was already established at that point. So I reached out to LG Canada, and they're like, yeah, you can use our phone to make a video on it. They're pretty cool about it. I didn't even have any subscriber. I mean, I had like 100 subscribers at the time or something. And that was my first video. And I was like, wow, this is a lot of fun. So actually, sorry, I didn't even have a YouTube channel at that point. The video was for the blog, obviously, the website. So I made the video. It turned out to be a lot of fun, at least for me. And then I'm like, listen, I think we should pivot to YouTube. The guy I was doing this whole site with didn't want to, so I ended up doing my own thing. And then I just stuck with it. And then it kind of just grew. Like the first year was kind of slow, and then the second year got better, and the third year got better. And just as long as you see like a straight line, even if it's like this going up,
right,
that means you're doing okay, right? But if you see like you're starting and it's just down and it never goes back up, then that's a problem.
Yeah, it's called dead. Yeah, it's
called dead, right? But there's some of this, like on the way up, right? I mean, that's just the way it is, right? I mean, like I've never had a viral video.
Stock market.
Exactly. I've never had a viral video. I've had a video hit 1 million, but like it was over time, like it took a year and a half, right? But I've never had like a viral video do well where I got tons and tons of subs and stuff like that. It was always just a slow and steady process, right? And I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't realize, like especially now, like if I was to do what I was doing back then, now it would be 1,000 times harder. I kind of got in a good time, it's just so saturated, the tech space. It's crazy. Anyways, that's how I did it. That's how that's my story.
They let anybody in now as well. I mean, have you seen Roger? Right. I mean, like,
they should have some sort of like monitoring service. Get him out of here.
They look at it and go, "Are we gonna let this guy on the platform? Really? We're gonna let this? Have you watched this stuff? It's not very good."
He builds studios out of pallets.
Right. Actually, that's a really good idea.
It was a really
best thing I've ever seen.
Oh man,
great.
Yeah, I saw the pictures. I was like, "Wow, that is badass." Oh, it's awesome, man. Yeah.
I will just want to give a shout out to Roger. The phone videos he's been doing recently, like because obviously he's quite new to the phone game.
Right. He's pivoting.
I was talking to him yesterday. His videos are really good.
Oh yeah, Roger's amazing.
There's no evidence that he's new to the phone game because obviously he's a tech nerd anyway.
Of course.
But I said to him, your B-roll, your lighting, the way you talk, it's great. It's absolutely brilliant. He says, no, I find myself really boring and annoying to listen to. I says, yeah, but that's just because
that's everybody, Like
I listen to this for audio, and I hate the way.
Of course, when I listen to myself, I'm like, oh my god, I want to smack my head into the monitor.
I was going to ask. That was the next follow-up question. Was like, I noticed I try to listen to because I got our feed on my podcast or site, so I'm listening to it, and I'll stumble upon it, and I'm like, after about 10 seconds, I go, I'm like, I can't listen to it. It's drives me crazy.
Oh, for sure. You can't.
That's why I have to do it.
Right. Yeah. Now I can listen to other people. Like I listen to Matt. I love watching his videos, and then I listen to mine. I go, I couldn't do anything. That's why we only have.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Not you, Matt. Matt. The good Matt, not the lame Matt. No, I'm just kidding. So and then of course Jermaine's never going to let him die. He is going to stick on this no fish and chips thing. He is going to run that to the end of the earth.
Oh yeah,
that's never going to die out. Never.
But to be fair, that was terrible. I mean, how can you? I mean, there's two things I'm doing in the UK. I don't think he may be.
I think he may have left. He's going, fuck these guys. I'm out here.
Right. I mean, but if I'm going to the UK, I'm getting a proper English. I'm totally getting fish and chips. Yeah, there he is. He's there. Yeah. Yeah. And then also, I got to walk, go to a pub and just get a good old fashioned back in the back and just drink pints all day and just be cool. Like watch a proper EPL game in the pub with all the craziness going on and get plastered out of my head and just, they can make fun of me. I don't care. So let's go.
Oh, for sure.
So my question is, and also speaking of food, poutine. Oh, you got to try. I like it. You don't get it.
You tried it? You tried it?
Yeah. Well, see, here's the funny thing. When I used to work,
stop you there. What?
Google it.
Okay.
Yeah, poutine.
So it's a Quebec thing. It's from Quebec. It's a Canadian thing, but it's from Quebec. And basically, it's just fries, with like cheese curds and gravy, and then like it gets really creative because like a lot of places will like mix other things into it, like pulled pork or meat or whatever it is, right? And it can be really tasty if you go to the right places. I've never been the biggest fan of it, but like a lot of people
cheese,
love
gravy,
it.
and chips.
Yeah. And you get like white gravy or light gravy, and there's tons of variations of it.
Totally different stuff.
What?
Yeah.
White gravy. Okay. What?
Let's go look it up. Yeah. I'll put the name in chat for you.
I'm gonna have to Google this.
There you go. Someone spelled it wrong. Give him a little.
Dan Tana's in the chat. Dan, how's it going, sir? So yeah, poutine. So get it a try. Yeah. Plus also, so when I worked for an old company, we used to go to Windsor, Ontario, because we had stores in Detroit. So we would go across the Ambassador Bridge, and go check it out. We would go to Don Cherry's, and I love Don Cherry because
Don Cherry's.
Yeah, huge hockey fan. See, I live in St. Louis, so we're St. Louis Blues, and so we're a huge hockey city on top of baseball. Yeah. So I remember going walking around and just thinking, this is great, man. Go to Don Cherry's and get a Labatt Blue and play Chex bubble hockey. And then that's when I first found out about Loonies and Toonies when I walked in, because I was like, hey, your Chex bubble hockey thing doesn't take quarters. Oh, no, it takes loonies, eh? And I was like, what's a loony? And he's like, oh, a loon, it's a $1 coin. And on the back, it's got a loon, the bird. So that's why we call it loonies. Okay, cool. So give me a handful of those. So he gives me a handful of loonies, and then I go back and do. And then somebody else said something, and I said, well, now the machine had a $2. I was like, well, do I put 2 loonies? Like, how do I get $2? Because this is the old school, right? Not the digital ones. You guys all need a toonie. I was like, okay, what the hell is happening in this country? What the hell is a toonie? Oh, it's a $2 loon.
Toonie's the big one, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's the sandwich coin. It's got a
Toonie Tuesday at KFC.
Yeah. It looks like our £2 coins. It's the middle is a different material.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like silver on the outside, gold in the middle, and then the just gold. Yeah.
And then you got to sit there and try to figure out how do you pop the center out of a toonie? Is that how it goes? Yeah. So anyway,
our £2 coins are exactly the same, and our £2 coins are the same. Silver in the middle, gold around the edge.
Yeah. And the funny thing, some weird stuff with his hands. He's doing a little. I don't know what's going on there.
He doesn't know. Oh God. God, my eyes.
Here,
oh man, my eyes are burning. I don't ever want
you know how earlier I said we're not sponsored by OnlyFans?
Yeah, there you go.
We might start now. I think that was our cue, right?
This is brought to you by Massage Wands.
That's right. Oh, so it's So
one Carlos Bagnell Massage Wands.
Yeah, there
you go. You see.
Oh Jesus,
that's an image. That's
yeah. Plus, and the great, and
sorry,
also.
I'm just going to throw that out.
And also the greatest bar fight I ever was partially a part of and then witnessed was in Windsor, Ontario.
Oh my God.
Oh, it was the greatest thing ever. So anyway, so I go up there on a Thursday night. No, it's awesome. Ontario is great. I just love the whole area.
Not
Toronto's
right now,
awesome.
I can't go anywhere.
Right, and Toronto's beautiful. Just driving up to Toronto was just incredible. It's awesome. So I get there and a fight breaks out. And so we leave the bar. And so there's big picture windows. And of course, Windsor police show up. And then this black car shows up. This is in 1997 too, so just to tell you how long ago it was. And I'm standing out there with a guy, and I said, "Who's this?" He goes, "Oh, it's the RCMPs." I said, "Oh, like the Mounties?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, okay." So I'm thinking like Dudley Do Ride backwards on a horse. He's like, "No, man, not these guys are psycho. Like RCMPs are crazy." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, watch this." And I watched this RCMP, 2 of these guys, just go in there and beat the shit out of everybody in that bar. Jesus. Oh, they were thumping people because you know why? It was all full of Americans. Right. Because at that time they were going over there to drink at 18. So the RCMPs knew it was free stick time. They could just go in there and thump people. Right. So I'm like watching it going, what the fuck is going on? And they were just grabbing people by their hair, pulling people out of the bar, putting them in the street, and like people picking them up. And it was the greatest. I was like, it's crazy. This is by far the most awesome thing I think I've ever seen. And they were just clearing house, man. It's what you got to do in a bar fight. So it was crazy.
Oh, you don't do bar fights like we do.
No, I was a cop, so I've had bar fights, and they're not fun. No, they're not fun to be in there. Oh,
English bar fights are bar fights.
Yeah, chairs breaking it. Right. So anyway, but yeah, and also I love Canadian slang, right? Yeah, give her bud, yeah, and all that kind of. I love it. I just listen to 2 Canadian guys talk, give her bud, and and then of course Trailer Park Boys. So that's my exposure. Yeah, of course. So
good stuff.
Anyway,
so speaking of that,
Aditya has a good question. Sorry.
Yeah, where's he at?
He said, Canadian Matt, because he's not talking to me. Do you call it soccer or football?
Oh, well, I mean, the country calls it soccer, unfortunately.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
But
look at Matt.
Because my background is Portuguese, I do wish it was called football. Here,
there you go. Right.
But
so I wonder if I'm wondering if that's more just because America. It's kind of because like, well, we're close enough to America, you might as well just call it what they call it.
You know, like because we're like, we're there's so much influence from the America, and because we're a Commonwealth country, we have the influence from Europe, from France and England. Like we do everything. Like I know everything in pounds and the metric system because it's so weird. Like you go down the highway and we talk kilometers, but you go to Home Depot, we talk inches and feet. You know, like it's just a weird thing. You know, even
it's kind of a mix match.
We do it in feet
and roll with it.
You know, exactly. It's just really.
Well, the weird thing was, I thought for years in the UK they used kilometers for everything. And he's like, no, they use miles for distances.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's so bizarre.
I know uses a weird thing,
150 miles to here, 250 miles to there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I guess that's not. Yeah, I didn't know in Canada it was like that much of a hodgepodge. Like you're a little bit of here and a little bit of there.
It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Right? It's not.
Yeah.
We can't do all metric, and we're not doing all empirical. So we're just gonna do both. And what the hell? And just roll with it.
Well, I mean, we're taught only metric in school, right? Like,
right.
We're never taught imperial in school. It's just we learn imperial just from life because everything's coming from the States. So like it's usually in feet or pounds or whatever it is. So it is what it is.
Too much influence. Too much influence.
And Jermaine says metric system's the way to go. Of course he would. He's from the Netherlands, and of course he would. He's Dutch. Of course he would. Metric's probably best.
There's more of us now than there is of you. So
everyone in the world is using metric except for the States.
Right. Which is stupid. I remember like when I was a kid, they were talking about, okay, man, the push is gonna be like by the 80s, we're gonna totally go to metric, and they're just like Americans, just like, fuck it, we're never doing that. We're
better. We're gonna use this.
You're weird.
Yeah.
Like, you call things like by their physical, like sidewalk. Like if you just called it a path, would you not know where to walk? Is it called side because you need to know where it is?
Right,
that's
a
specific.
blinker.
I think that makes more sense.
Eyeglasses.
I'm going to put this in the trunk, not boots. Like, what's a boot? A boot goes on your feet.
Right.
It's a boot. It's the back.
A bin. I'm going to put it in the bin. What bin?
Yeah, the rubbish in the bin.
Where I keep my tampons? Or is it the bin where I put paper?
No, the bin where you put the rubbish. The bin, the blue bin, the black bin, the brown bin, or,
the rubbish bin.
It is. The rubbish. It is what it is. Recycling. You got to recycle.
Right.
Different color bins for different things, like the blue bins for plastics and cardboard.
Although I do agree with Jermaine, I think it should be called. We call it blinkers, but they're called indicators, right? I like indicator better.
They are indicators, yeah.
I do like that better.
When we had that fire here, when I had to abandon the show halfway through, and I said you thought the word fire brigade just sounded really good.
Yeah. Because it sounded like a bunch of firemen. Like a fire department's like, okay, it was like maybe a truck and a couple of guys, right? You think of fire brigade, you're thinking like hundreds of guys are showing up, like a brigade, like a military brigade, right? So it just sounds cool. It's like, hey, who helped put out the fire? The fire department? That's lame. Oh man, we had the fire brigade. And they're like, yeah, they kicked ass, kicked fire, they took out pieces of wood and threw them. It was great. Yeah, it just sounds like cooler to have to say brigade. And
I made it back to the end of that show because of those guys.
I took a toque. Right, yeah, that's right, toques. So how do you like the iPhone, the flat size? Because my wife just got the iPhone 12, and she likes it a lot. I have to admit, I do too, but I mean, what's your feeling about that?
Story about that bloody phone.
I like the flat. I mean, like the sides of the phone. Like I think it looks nice. It's like it's I love that squared look that was brought with the iPhone 4. But from holding it, it's not comfortable. Like I'd rather hold the Galaxy S21 or S21 Ultra. It's a lot more like when I was holding the old iPhone 11 Pro, and it just feels so much better to hold in the hand.
Right.
This is just way too boxy. You get used to it like you would with anything else, but it's definitely not a practical design. It's kind of like the edges, right? Like it's looks good, but it doesn't feel good.
So I guess my question is, do you think that people really complained about it back in the day, like when they had phones? Like I think it's the size, right?
Practical because of the size. Yeah.
Yeah, back in the day, iPhone 4 was tiny, right? So
people
didn't care. This is stupid big. Like the S21 Ultra is taller than this, but feels a lot more comfortable to hold because it's skinnier and because the edges are not squared off. It just feels better in the hand,
And then how do you feel about like a possibility of like losing a possible jack? We were hoping to go USB Type-C, but that doesn't seem like it. If anything, Apple seems like they're leaning towards maybe ditching the jack and going completely portless all the way.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts. Here's the thing:
when Apple does stuff like that.
They're gonna do it because everybody else is gonna do it. That's what I worry about.
Everyone follows them. I don't like it. Look at the charger situation.
I know.
Everyone's taking the piss out of Apple, and then all of a sudden everyone's doing it.
I know it's sad. It is what it is. I mean, like. I mean, you got to remember, like taking the charger away. Okay, see the headphone jack. Samsung didn't take it away right away. They took some time to do it, and that was smart, right? Because that's a feature that people genuinely use a lot, right? And don't get me wrong, charging bricks people use a lot too. But the thing is, charging bricks saves them a lot of money.
Right.
Putting a headphone jack on your phone doesn't save Samsung much money. So for them to leave it on, it's not a big deal. But because Apple's taking it away, it gives all these other manufacturers an excuse to profit on the same idea. If Apple's doing it, we can do it, right? Whereas a headphone jack, it's like, okay, this doesn't cost anything, so we're not going to profit whether we take it away or not. Let's keep it on.
Yeah. Well, they profit because they took away they eventually stopped giving you the dongle. So that's a bit of extra money.
True. That's true.
And then now with the charger, I mean, some are handling it differently. Like the Xiaomi, you can get a free 55-watt charger if you choose to. There's 2 different versions.
And I wonder how many people are choosing not to. It's probably such a small portion. It's probably like nobody.
This is what I mean.
So you mean I can get the charger for free, or I can not get the charger for free? I'm just going to go with free.
Exactly.
There's no measurement. There's no current, because the Mi 11's not globally released yet. It's only in China. There's no metrics. There's no sale data to say which one's better. But it's like if you pre-ordered, is it the S21 Ultra or any of the S21s, you got a free charger. I can't remember. I don't know which. I think it was just one of them that you pre-ordered. You got the option to add the charger for free.
Well, I know the S21 Ultra, they had a promotion where you get like $200 off worth of accessories, so you could add it in if you wanted to.
Yeah, and like I said, he was making a comment too about you can one-handed operation with that. You'll miss round edges when you're trying to do something one-handed because of it's not. It doesn't look to be comfortable. My wife likes it, but she's got just a regular iPhone 12, so it's not as big. I think she
fine. Yeah.
And then Goran's talking about did you see that thing about the?
It's not the Pro. You don't get the Pro features for the laptop.
She don't care. She takes pictures of she could care less.
But this is exactly what I mean. The iPhone 12, the S21 are going to be the best selling.
For sure. I mean, I have this Pro Max, and I honestly if I could totally be fine on the regular iPhone. I would never even care.
The S21 Plus is sort of a niche. I don't know. It's just sort of there. It doesn't need to be.
Because I think you just have to, right? You have to have a Plus and a regular and an Ultra. You just kind of have to now.
It's an upsell phone, like
like the Note 20.
Plus is bigger.
Standard.
Okay, I'll buy it instead of the S21. Oh wait, I get more of this instead of the S21 Plus. Oh, it's only extra $50 to $100. I'll just get the S21 Ultra. Like that's what it is.
Right, and then you see this thing about the Xiaomi and the wireless charging, or like through the air. Like, how wild is that?
Oh yeah,
I call vaporware. I mean, there's.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
I mean?
What?
Like, they didn't show a working demo or everything.
Cool.
It does look cool though. It does. I'm wondering how well that works.
It is. There's been a few companies attempted it and failed, but
for sure, I think it's definitely.
Xiaomi's the biggest company to go for it. I mean, they've got the money and the backing and the resources to pull it off if anyone has.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, man, if that could be a thing, I mean, that would be pretty nice just to have your phone and you have a charger that's maybe across the room and it would be okay.
Arun, Mr. Who's the Boss, made a video, and like he said, eventually batteries are the degrading factor in a phone now. Everything else lasts forever. Like it can last years and years and years, but the batteries are the one thing. So if they can make phones with smaller batteries or without a battery, eventually, obviously this is way, way, way in the future, sort of like a rollout like 5G, but all wireless chargers. So you can just power wherever you go. I mean, that's obviously out there. But
I do like and Jermaine's right. Like, looks cool, but it's probably cost more energy than what you gain just to make the phone. I mean, it's how much energy they're going to have to use to push that kind of through, and also how far.
The size of it?
It's
like
pretty
a mini fridge.
it's pretty sizable. So I don't really know, like, as far as
Plus,
that goes.
Don't forget, they release something like that. These 5G tower burning folk are going to start.
Oh my God!
It's caused COVID 20. It's caused by Xiaomi's wireless charging machine.
Right. It's also going to cook your innards and stuff. Yeah, right.
Exactly. Exactly.
Canadian Matt's got a question. Are there
Canadian
better
Matt's
cameras?
Got a question.
Yeah, it's Canadian Matt. That's right. That's what he says.
UK Matt, I like it.
Yeah. So, are there better cameras in the Pro Max? Is it worth the extra money you're paying from a point of view of somebody who takes photographs, mostly like nature? I mean, would you pretty much need the Pro? Yeah. Would you pay?
I mean, the only big reason to get the Pro is more for low light stuff, right? And to be honest, it is noticeable, but it's not huge. And the fact you can shoot raw photos right in the app as opposed to like downloading a separate app in the ecosystem and taking raw photos. Like you would have to be like really into smartphone photography to want to get it. But I think, and you'd also want to have the extra lens for telephoto. Right. If those two, and to be quite honest, the telephoto lens is only 2.5 times. It's not like 10 times where it actually makes a big difference. You could just walk 2.5 times, whatever. But I honestly think to like love, like it's your job being smartphone photography to even justify upgrading 12 or 12 Pro.
Right. So how are like I've seen some of the images of the zoom capability of the S21 Ultra. They look legit. That looks like a pretty good camera system.
It's a good camera. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, like I think they improved this year. They still slightly overexpose the pictures of it. It's still contrasty, but not nearly as bad as it used to be. I think it's a little bit more reasonable now. I think it's just. I think the word to use here is, I feel more confident in Samsung camera system. I feel like the pictures are more consistent. Whereas before, it's like, okay, this one looked great, that one looked great. That's why people buy the iPhone system picture, and I feel like they've done a good job with that. The only downfall is the same story as always, and this goes for any Android phone, is that if you're using any sort of social media app,
it's not going to look as good.
It's not going to look as good. Maybe not on Instagram, because I know Samsung has something going on there, but if you're taking a TikTok video with the camera or something on Snapchat, it just looks like crap. You have to upload it manually. But I get it. Like these these software companies, this can't be fine-tuning every camera, right? It takes a lot of resources, so it is what it is.
So I guess, true. Is there's a rumor that they are making a Note 21? That's what I've heard.
They said they're going to cancel the Note line. Then Samsung came out saying it's not canceled. I think there will be a Note 21. Yeah, exactly. Yet. I still think it makes sense for them to continue the Note line. Like, as cool as being able to use the S Pen on the Ultra, like I think that's a great idea. Because like a lot of people have the tab already. Some people have an old Note lying around, and let's say they don't use the S Pen that often, but for the times they do, they can just pull it out and use it. I think that's great, right?
Right.
But there's like probably about 5%. This is just a made up number, but a very small portion of Note users love the pen. They legit use it for their business, and being able to store that in your phone is a lot more powerful than carrying it as a separate option on the side or buying a case to stick it inside of.
Yeah, I've seen that case with that like attaching the phone. It just looks tacky. It looks cumbersome, and it just doesn't look right, and it's just too bulky. I get it. You got to have a place to store it, because if you didn't, you're going to lose it, right? But
after they've killed the Note line, eventually, do you think if enough people push back, they'll stop doing this case and actually start putting the pen in the S20 or the S Ultra line?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I could see that happening.
That's possible. I mean,
just let's call it the Ultra, the S, whatever the year is, Ultra, and it has just the pen inside. Done.
Yeah, that's possible. It's possible.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It would make more sense, because if you're going to ditch the Note line and you already have the capability of making the silo, just make the Ultra pen capable, make the other two phones pen capable as well, but you just have the silo built into the Ultra. That's just part of the Ultra feature, right? You just
exactly.
But the problem is the part of the Ultra feature is also the big battery, the blah blah blah. So they have to make the battery smaller to fit the pen in.
Right. Totally. Well, I think at this point,
the Note 20 Ultra was 4.5, wasn't it? 4,500, whereas the S20 Ultra was 5, just because of the pen.
So how is the battery life on the S21? Is it pretty good? I mean, is it better than the Note 20 Ultra?
Oh man,
I don't really user.
Yeah, it's really good. Like easily, I can get a day and a half, 2 days phone. It's probably about as good as it is on the iPhone, to be honest. Like I have zero complaints. Like it's 5,000 milliamp hour battery. Like how can you not have good battery life, right?
Right.
It's huge.
Unless you have an Exynos, then you don't have it.
Unless you have an Exynos, then you're lucky to make
last
it to
year's S20 Ultra 5,000 milliamp hour battery was awful.
Oh god, I wasn't a fan of last year's S21 Ultra, even besides not having an Exynos. There's just other issues.
The battery was rubbish, despite it being 5,000 milliamp hours.
Exactly.
How did they get such bad battery life?
I know, right?
Have a cell that big. I don't know.
It's embarrassing.
I don't know how they did it.
Yeah.
And then Jermaine says,
just bothered optimizing, just going, fuck it. Just leave it.
So just release the S and Note together, have the Ultra, the Note, and then which is now the Ultra. Yeah, I get that. Like I said, I think they have some. They have some.
For Samsung,
they have some.
They're releasing too many phones. Too many high-end phones. The flips, the folds, the Ultras, the Pluses. There's too many in the line, and obviously, according to their sales data, Well, no, this is what I mean. Obviously, according to Samsung sales data, the Note is the weakest link.
Oh, for sure.
It must be.
Sure.
I still wish they would come back. I still wish they would bring back the I'm not drawing a blank on it. The actives. I really wish they would bring back an active version
somewhere around here.
God, I wish that was
the
still
active version. So I was thinking of the original Galaxy S Active, the first generation.
Oh no, like the last, like
somewhere in the house. I was like, oh man, I used to love that.
Yeah, especially for people like maybe working in industrial environments or like that kind of thing. You don't have to worry about a case that just. Yeah. I mean, my friend had an S6 Active and he loved that thing. He's like, this thing is so great.
But again, I think it comes down to like being a market for it, right? It wasn't selling a lot, which was unfortunate because it's a good niche, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of contractors. You're on site or in construction sites or you're a police officer. You know, like you have your phone in your pocket, it drops. You want to be safe.
But there still is rugged phones, isn't there? Like
for sure. Right.
There's the smaller companies like Blackview and Umidigi and Cat.
Right. The Cat phone. In case you want to beat somebody to death with your phone, just beat them to death with it. Yeah, there you go.
That Energizer phone. That Energizer phone that was like this thick.
Yeah. It's like just beat that. Yeah, you can use it as crazy. Like put it underneath your table to level it out. That kind of thing.
Oh my god.
Joe's daughter started bum shuffling.
Oh,
she started moving on her own now.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's the great thing about having children, right? They get one. Can't wait till they walk and can't wait till they talk, and then they start, and you're like,
that's it.
Yeah, I wish you'd stop doing that. Really, don't do that anymore. So, speaking of that, what is your looking at like with 2021? I know we're hopefully maybe on the back end of all this COVID junk, like we're getting on that. But I mean, what's the channel? I mean, where do you look? Do you have projects working? Do you have anything that you want to talk about, or where do you like? Everybody talks about not having milestones. Right? I don't care about 750K or whatever, but like, what does your channel look like for 2021? Where you'd like it to be, and maybe things you're going to do to try to maybe push that.
I think for me this year for 2021, it's going to be more about consistency, having a proper content schedule between all the platforms. Last year was just hectic. It was just like going from one video to the next based on the type of projects I had or what was happening. But I want to build a proper, I want to do it properly. So more focus on the back end so that I can further facilitate the front end to be a lot more populous than it was this year, and to and clean up my content too. I found it last year that the quality could be better, and I think that's kind of like what you have to aim for. Anyone who's doing YouTube every single year to
so
possible.
What about your content? Like, were you like, if you want to talk, like, what about it? Like, as far as quality, length?
Yeah. So
I mean, what about it that you just weren't really feeling as far as was high as quality as you'd like it to be?
So I think in terms of quality, it would be more about the actual narrative. Having more of a story behind it, being a bit more entertaining, trying to find out exactly where people are stopping to watch, so that I can put on those parts to make them stay longer. Because there's obviously a reason they're leaving at some parts, whether it's at 60% or 70%, 10%. Why are they leaving? How can I make them better? How can I have them stay? How can I keep their attention? Right. So. If I can improve that type of stuff, then obviously people want to watch the videos more, and obviously I'll be serving something they really want to watch as opposed to just wanting to watch because maybe it's a new product that just came out, for example. So
I was going to say, and I'm glad I was about ready to say it, but ER jumped on it. Like the two Canadian Met episodes, I love those. Those are some of my favorite ones where you're just like, it's just, they were just, I love that kind of like back and forth where you can kind of, and here's the thing, I've watched your content for years. I always found it to be entertaining. I always found it to be entertaining. It never felt like robotic or like, it felt pretty organic. It was like, this is a guy who enjoys his content, enjoys and as light, it never felt like, I don't know, man. It's almost like reading like a recipe, right? It's not. It's never like that. So interesting how you didn't like it. I guess is that more? Is that more from is that feedback driven, or is that more you just watching it and you're like, I just ain't feeling it?
It's like what me and Matt were saying earlier in the video. It's like you watch yourself, and like no matter how good someone else thinks your content, you always feel like, get sick of watching yourself. You want to make it better, right? Like like my favorite videos of mine that I've done are always the ones that make like. Whether it's two people talking to each other or some stupid skit, or maybe the video didn't do well, but I had fun doing it. Like those have always been the ones where I really loved. Unfortunately, you can't do that with every video in the tech space because it's just impossible. And most people who watch videos for reviews don't come to watch you for the comedic aspect of it. They come to watch to get a review because they're buying the product. So I have to tone it back a bit. So it's I think it's just finding that balance. If I can find that balance, that's fine. But I've also been like you mentioned earlier, I'm on TikTok, So I'm also maybe
Nope.
keep YouTube very specific, and then use TikTok and Reels as my like comedic outlet. That's another option too, right? So
well, also I can even think you can also too
branch.
Exactly. So
and it's just fun
right now.
And what's good about TikTok is it's so low entry. You don't have to worry about it being like high production value. You can just like walk around your house and give like a 45-second.
Guarantee I can get 5 million views on a video.
It's so true. Like I got videos that I just started. Like I got.
You met me.
I posted the stupidest video. It was just like 2 features I loved about the S21 Ultra, and it got 180,000 views. And I'm like, this is like ridiculous. And then the next day, post something else about the S21 Ultra and it gets like 500. It's just so random. I think with TikTok, it's all about. I think TikTok's the only platform where it's all about quantity and not quality.
Yeah, skip like a shotgun. Just put it out there, right?
You just keep doing it, you know?
7 videos a day of you just talking about whatever crap comes up to your head. Yeah.
Time length. There's a length on
a minute.
Yeah, I think it's 1 minute. We got fewer minutes.
No, as far as I think on the TikToks, I think they're 1 minute. There's so basically it's like a Vine.
Yeah,
but I mean. But it was kind of cool because, like I said, and what's neat about it is there really doesn't have to be the same level of engagement as YouTube. You don't have to log in, pull a sub, look for it. You can just like For You page and just start scrolling through it, and bam, here's Matt's content. You're like, oh, I like his stuff, and you subscribe to it, or you can keep watching more of his own videos and see what he's doing. I think the engagement capability is a whole lot more up vertical.
It's the 500,000 views on TikTok that spill over to YouTube subscriptions.
But that's the whole reason to do it, right?
It might be a small percentage, but eventually it'll build up and up and up. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like people ask me, like, "Oh, I'm going to get big on TikTok and I'm going to make so much money." I'm like, you shouldn't be doing it to make money, first of all, and second of all, you're not going to make lots of money on TikTok. What you have to do is use TikTok to your advantage to push people to your platforms that are more concrete, so like YouTube and Instagram, right?
Right.
Those are the platforms where you want to have lots of eyeballs on, so that you could potentially get sponsorships or brand deals or whatever it is, if you're trying to grow a business, that is, right? So, yeah.
Just anything to get you some exposure, and because since it's so simple, you don't even have to set anything up. You could just like turn your phone on and just go. So that's what's kind of nice. And I know I did see your video when you're kind of walking and talking. I was like, Moses on TikTok. Here it comes.
I have not seen any of these because I am not on TikTok, but I do have I think. What do you reckon? Should we just do an account? Should we just make an across the account?
We should totally do it.
You guys should.
Small random clips of us being complete and utter morons. Yeah. It shouldn't take long.
And here's the thing.
Absolutely do it.
And did you see DePoets? I follow him on TikTok. His stuff is great. Yeah, his PC building and stuff, and him just talking about PC. No, it's really good. I think. Well, I'm telling you, I'm gonna do vlogs for my 4x4x48 in March.
Okay.
That's good.
No, honestly, listen, Matt and Sam. There's honestly no reason why you shouldn't be doing it. Even if you hate TikTok, you just come up with a stupid idea. It takes you 5 minutes of your day.
Because you can do it, man. You're mine's gonna be mine's still. You could do it. You just said you could get like 500,000. Go for it.
Yeah.
No, I think so. But like I said, actually, I'm going to do that when I do my 4x4x48. And Matt doesn't know what that is. You know what that is, and you say I'm crazy still for doing it. So 4-mile runs every 4 hours for 48 hours.
Someone's been watching is it David Goggins or whatever?
I guess you didn't see my shirt.
No. Oh yeah, there it is. I'm sorry. Now I see it. Wow, I'm blind. I am like. I'm sorry. The thing is, like, you guys are on the screen beside me here, but I'm staring at the camera, so it looks like I'm actually talking to you. I don't want to be like this.
There's two types of people sat here.
Yeah.
One is the runner, and one is the gamer who's just not going to run. No, I'm not going to run. I'm good at stamina and weights, but running, nope. That's a no from me.
Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of Goggins. Yeah, he's like, I love that guy. So it's just talking about just his whole methodology. Now I'm not anywhere near like psycho like that. He is just like there's nuts. Another level. Yeah, he's nuts. Oh, he's nuts. There's some of the stuff he's doing like that's crazy.
I mean, you've seen right? Like
yeah, but there's me and then there's Goggins. That's crazy. I mean, even for me, that's some of that stuff's like it's
he's nuts.
Yeah, so that's good. So what is on the horizon for? I guess the next. Whatever phones are coming out. Are you really? I mean, obviously, what do you think about the foldable space?
Was the highlight of year.
I mean, like most of my content right now is laptops. Really heavy phones on laptops, but just because phones have been kind of dry lately. But I am looking forward to seeing more foldables. I think we're now going into the third year. I think things are going to look a lot more polished. Samsung did an amazing job with their second generation one. But the problem is with Android foldables is that the software is not there yet. You know, like everything, like you open up Instagram, it's like screen, like it just doesn't look or feel right. And I think that's going to take a lot of work on Google's side to fix because Samsung's not really good at software.
No.
And Google needs to like step it up and do this properly because Samsung could have like amazing. So
yeah,
we've got all the rollables coming as well. So
that's another option. From
Google
LG.
Google have definitely got their work cut out for them with optimizing Android for all these different.
I know
two screens like them, and then you've the foldables, the rollables, the flips, the flops. What's next? Diagonal.
I think that's where that's on and Matt's point is perfect. Like I said, the software is where this duo struggles. Yeah, it just struggles. It just does
right now. Everything software. Once that gets fixed, it's going to be
exactly. Yeah, innovation is what like the last couple of years. The innovation, like glass sandwiches, fine, okay. Yeah, they're getting incremental updates, but where the action's been is in these hinges, the folds, the flips, the duos, the dual screen cases from LG, which we don't fucking get any of those.
Yeah. And you can imagine,
I mean any. We don't get the duo, we don't get the duo LGs, we don't get the
you're not missing much of the LGs, don't worry, you're fine.
Right. Wrong show, man. We're LG rep.
Oh, sorry. This video is sponsored by the Wing, and I was joking.
Yeah. And Matt's like, we do. That worked out great.
We do love LG here. Just watch yourself.
Sorry, LG Wing. Buy it tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Buy two of them and give it to Matt Moniz.
That's and like I said, Wing is.
It's a crazy idea.
The idea. Somebody thought of that and went, do you know what? We need to do it. Fuck, why not? Then they designed the hinge and the locking mechanisms, and it's just interesting to see it all moving in this direction with phones, and then you see it flopping over to laptops, like the foldable Lenovo laptops, and it's just weird where it's going to go. Where is this going to go?
Yeah, I love my
pulling a TV at your wall and unfolding it. Like
it's crazy. Right. And
just Apple's, it's insane to think. Yeah.
And you can bet yourself that Apple's been working on for years already.
Oh yeah.
Whether they release it or not, or if it. Yeah, they're working on it.
Won't release it unless it's market ready. They won't release it with a crease. They've got to have no crease.
Yeah. Well, like I told you before, when foldables become a thing when Apple does them, because that's the technological good housekeeping seal of approval. Because if they're doing it, I mean everybody else is going to do it. So because they will, if they have a foldable, you will see commercial after commercial. They will drop it. You'll be in everybody's face, and then
Apple. You cannot deny their hardware is
awesome.
When it's out, it's the best. It's amongst some of the best that's out there.
Absolutely.
Well, we're right about that 1 hour.
So much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think their software's okay. It's just just like any other software. That's why they have iterative releases and point twos.
They invented widgets not long ago.
I've
seen those before.
Well, we're right about that 1 hour mark, and I know Matt's very busy, and I know we're kind of pushing on his time.
I got both of my kids sitting here waiting for me right here. They're just like, in my screen here.
Like, well, that's perfect. Yeah. Hello. Well, we definitely want to take any more.
Are in bed because it's gone 10 o'clock here.
Right. So there's a chance of anybody in this chat, which I highly doubt. If you're not watching, Matt Moniz, like really shame on you. And if they aren't, where can people reach out to you? Where can they see your content, and where can they engage with you?
Well, I mean, I'm on Twitter. I'm Matt Moniz, and on YouTube, I'm Matthew Moniz. Basically, just type in Matt Moniz and any of those networks, and I should pop up. But this was fun, guys. I just want to say thank you so much for having me on, and I truly appreciate it for taking your time. I know we've been trying to get this together for a while, but I'm glad we could finally make it work.
Oh, there she is. It's like, so we see the head of the green. Hey, hello.
That's fun.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. So anyway, it's our honor. We love having you on the show, and please, you drug. Dad, it's okay. Fighting arms. Yeah. It's just little kid arms everywhere. Yeah. So again, Matt, thanks.
Show at nighttime.
So Matt, we'd love to have you on again some time later in the year. Follow up with you, and take care and have a great day. Sir.
Yeah, we've got to do it. Jermaine, Roger.
But I will never come on again if Jermaine and Roger are here. Forget that. Never.
Oh,
just kidding.
Sounds good. All right, Matt. You take care of yourself. Thanks for coming on, sir. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye. The awkward moment where I look for the stop mic cam thing.
That's okay. Yeah. Well, that was a good show. So we're still broadcasting, by the way. So that's it, folks. So if you're listening to the show, the audio version of the show,
why didn't you just end the show there? That was
no, because here's the thing. Well, we usually go a little longer. No, we usually go a little longer. So we have people in chat.
Get back to the hour. We do need to try and get back to that.
Right. Well, and I want to ask everybody. Then my question is, and this is going to be for everybody in the chat since we have people here listening still. So don't go anywhere. Does everybody?
Aditya. No.
Does everybody like? Does everybody want to go back to that compressed hour because of listening, or when people listening to the show, do you guys like listening to the extended stuff? I guess if we have an engaging guest or an engaging topic. I mean, that's my question. I'm wondering if folks listening to the show, like the audio version, not necessarily the stream, is pretty good. And then we got like Happy to Be Longer, 90 minutes, and then the Matt was awesome. Like I said, we cut the show because he only had an hour because he's obviously got better things to do than just to talk to us.
I think the live portion, obviously, that's fine to go over. It's the podcasting side. It needs to be a bit that within that hour or just over for easy listening, like commuting and traveling and stuff like that. Too long, people don't listen because it's too long and they haven't got the time to listen to it.
Right.
So it's a bit of a.
Well, I mean, I guess the problem is we're not going to be able to. I've seen most of the comments are they don't mind for hour and a half or whatever, and some people say an hour's fine. So I think we'll just have to go with it. I think we can't just decide what to do. So and now like Rolando, yeah, live stream is good for extended, but the audio should be between hour and a half. Yeah, I agree. So that's good. So yeah, having Matt on was great, and I guess that's it. Unless Matt wants to stay on, and he wants to go because he's tired of looking at me, right?
I'm always tired of looking at you. That doesn't make it any different.
That's probably fair. So
I don't know. It's one of them things where we are not professionals and we will never be professionals. We just do it our way because that's how we like to do it. That's why people like these people, these folk like our show because we are us. We're not following rules. We're not doing it to a description. We're just trying to keep it to a decent length.
And I agree with details. I guess I think it should be guest specific because like with Matt, it was real easy to cap it in an hour because he only had an hour, and it seems like the guests we have that are
could have gone a lot longer. Definitely.
I would have you don't get Matt.
Roger probably about half an hour,
maybe about 20 minutes for Roger. I mean, he's a little boring. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, then there's Jermaine.
Roger's good.
I mean.
Oh shit! I talked to Jermaine for 3. We should have a marathon podcast with Jermaine. I'll talk to Jermaine for like 3 hours straight. Probably he doesn't want to talk to me for 3 hours straight. Cause
he's all right.
No, okay. Jermaine's cool. No, Jermaine's good people. Everybody in the chat's good. Having Joe on. It was great too. Finally getting Joe on and just everybody, man. And just I love everybody in the chat. I mean, Joe Hickey.
Who's Joe? Is that weird dude? I don't know.
Yeah. God. Yes, we consider you a person in detail.
I love you, Joe. I'm only joking.
Yeah, right.
He's my UK brother from not far away. So
yeah, 23 minutes for Roger Max. Okay, that's fair enough. That's cool. But yeah, so but yeah.
Whoa, 3. What do you mean 23?
That's very specific amount of time.
We don't do in odd numbers here, sir.
What is this? Does that mean anything to you? Hickey is the good-looking gooner lad. What does that mean? What's a gooner?
I'm not even going to try and explain it to you because you just get all pissy about stuff.
No, I need to know because it looks. I would use it.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Uncle Spur, Issa, Josh, Roger, Fat Produce, Jermaine, they can go on for hours and I'd watch it too.
Yeah, Gooner's an Arsenal fan. Oh, okay. I got you. Okay. There you go. Gooner.
That's a gunner, but.
Oh, is it? Oh, Gunner. Oh, okay. Because it's the 2 O's. I thought it said Gooner. Okay, Gunner. Because the gun on the uniform, the guns, right? Is that what they call it? Is that
there he is. I'm trying to stay away from football, so I didn't want to try and explain it to you.
Or Simon says it could be also somebody who punches their shit a lot. Okay, that's fair. Racing the cheetah a little bit too long. You're a gunner. Okay, that's fair. That's cool. Okay. Manchester.
When you post this podcast, just clip it where Matt leaves because we don't want to taint that good show with what the fuck is going on now.
This is the best stuff.
Don't want to taint that show with these dirty people.
No. So we're doing good. Okay, so
I have just become the most hated person around here. I'm just going to step out.
Right. Yeah, no. So let's see. And this podcast is sponsored by Sildenafil. What the hell? That's a drug. What is it for?
English. What?
I don't know. Sildenafil. I don't know what that is. It's got to be a drug.
Aditya
Viagra.
said it.
Oh,
I was going to say. I'm literally about to say. Aditya said it. Do we want to know what the fuck it is?
Yeah. Because I mean, now I know what it is. It's Viagra. Okay, kind of like Viagra. Okay.
Why don't you just say that?
Well, I think that's the actual term for the drug, the chemical, whatever. And then Viagra is just like
blue pill.
Oh, Prolapse cream. Wow, this is getting out of control. This show is out of control. We're totally fucking. We're gonna upload this, by the way. We're not clipping any of this shit. Just so you know. No, we can't clip any of this. Yeah. Okay, Prolapse cream. Just there you go. In case you were wondering where Simon's head's at. Apparently, it's
this is spiraling out of control.
Yeah, of course. It's beautiful. This is the part of our show I like. And he knew who David Goggins was. So how do you like that shit? That was awesome.
I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah. That's okay. I do like you rocking that hoodie better. I do like that better than the PlayStation one. I don't like the coloring of it. That is pretty good, by the way.
Why don't you like the color? What's wrong with the color, bitch?
No.
Just because you wear all black.
No, I don't like the color of the PlayStation logo. I don't like that multi-color thing. It just
I love my cool. PlayStation hoodie. Don't you hate on my PlayStation hoodie? You PlayStation hoodie hater.
Right. Well,
you
Extreme
son of
Skins.
a bitch.
There you go.
Did you really need to do that?
Yes, I did. Because Extreme Skins. Have
you just learned how to do this? So why you done it?
Right. So we just do all this kind of stuff. We're crazy, right? So get yourself some Extreme Skins. Get you some. They got new colors.
Go get
Hopefully
some.
and if you had an S21 Ultra or whatever, you could probably get some skins for that.
The new gold driftwood. That is a nice skin. That's the one I showed you. The one I've got.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
But are they doing it for phones too, or is it just for the console?
Yes, they are going to be doing it for phones. Obviously, COVID's slowing down manufacturing. Obviously. Yeah. They're also a small UK-based company, so it's not like they're based worldwide in Chinese factories and stuff. They manufacture and build here. So obviously everything's a bit slower than it would be normally because of the situation, but that's just the world at the minute.
Yeah.
But yes, they will be coming to phones.
Cool.
And they have some other stuff coming this year, which just all I'm going to say is stay tuned.
Yeah, we will, and we're going to keep plugging them, and they're awesome. I love them to death. Like I said, I'm anxiously awaiting the Duo. I know it may be a while.
Happen. Never going to happen.
I think the Duo will come.
If it ever gets released here, which is a big if, it's going to be hard for them to warrant the cost of skinning a phone nobody's going to buy.
Yeah, that's a shame. I might just have to try to cut it. Maybe if they give me a sheet, of that, and I can maybe cut it to size. Maybe they'll do that.
Also, that's a good point. Actually, you just reminded me. Massive shout out and thank you to Extreme Skins for helping out Roger.
Oh, okay.
Just say it. You'll see it on one of Roger's videos, but just a huge thank you to Extreme Skins for helping us out there. Yeah.
So the PlayStation. Apparently, Air Guy's not a big PlayStation fan. Yeah, Xbox S. Yeah, if you can get one pretty cheap, I would get an Xbox. I don't have an Xbox. My daughter took because the other one I had broke, so I don't have an Xbox. I would get it a One S.
It's the thing having children. They take your things. Xbox, phone.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, I think if you're just looking for gaming, Xbox One X is pretty good. So One S is pretty good. I would get one. So that's it. We had a good show. Who's on next week? Do we have nobody? I don't think we have anybody lined up, do we?
Is that the 7th?
Yeah, February. Yeah.
Okay, so we have one confirmed guest.
Who?
Uncle Spurt.
Okay, Chris is coming on. Okay, cool.
Yes,
but you have to understand.
And we're obviously the other one is still to be confirmed, but it is Tom the Tech Chap.
Okay, yeah, Tom the Tech Chap. You mentioned that, yeah, so that's cool. Problem is, we definitely got to keep that show early. We got to cut it. We can't go long on that one on the February 7th.
Sorry, I can't commit to that.
No. You know what that day is, right?
Nope.
Super Bowl
it's February
55.
7th. How the fuck would I know that?
I know, I'm just telling you, it's Super Bowl. That's Super Bowl Sunday.
I don't care.
I know you don't. I do.
Me, Tom, and Chris are all from England. So, Super Bowl is not. You can go.
No, fine. I'm just saying, it doesn't start till 5:30. So we've got time. I'm just saying, it's Super Bowl Sunday. That's all. I know it doesn't mean anything to anybody in the UK unless you like football, American
or
football.
Europe.
Yeah, I don't know. People in Germany, I thought
Super Bowl's cool. Like, don't get me wrong, Super Bowl's cool. Like, the ads and the.
Well, I think a lot of people just watch the ads. I think a lot of people watch the ads.
When the parades and the people are dancing, that bit goes way too long. But it is good. It's enjoyable. I do like to watch clips and highlights and catch some of shows if they're over on BBC.
Who's the guy from Tech Tablets? You know who that is? Simon's asking about Tech Tablets on the show. The dude from Tech Tablets.
Tech Tablets is the Australian guy. He's very good at what he does.
Well, Australia might be a hard one just because of time difference, but if we can reach out to him, maybe we can have him on. Aussie guy. Oh, he lives in Europe. Oh, okay. Well, if he lives in Europe, okay, cool. Then we can.
I don't know where he lives. Obviously, why would I know where he lives? I'm not stalking him.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, he's good. Yeah, I do watch his channels. I watch his comparisons and stuff because he's very hard on the phones. If he says a phone is terrible calibration and blah blah blah, it's terrible calibration. You know, like he's really good. It's a bit like Erica Griffin does her tests and the screen calibrations and the colors and stuff like that.
Right.
When she says something, you know that it's accurate. It's not just said. It's a bit like that.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, yeah. So we've got somebody lined up for Super Bowl Sunday for me. So that's cool, and we'll have. So we're gonna have both of them on the show, or are we just gonna line up Tech Chat? Oh, both of them at the same time.
Both at the same time.
Okay, cool. That'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be a good time. So yeah, if you're hanging around on Sunday,
we're gonna celebrate Tom hitting 1 million subs. But that's if timing allows, and you know.
Right. We're gonna work on it, folks, because we want to make sure we get some good guests for you. But yeah, I would like to have Erica Griffin on at some point. That'd be kind of cool. But I mean, it's us guys. I mean, seriously, we don't get a lot of that. But we've had great guests
so far.
Yeah, we've been extraordinarily lucky. And I will tell you that the time that we missed having the show on, the 1 week we missed, and then Matt, when you weren't here because you had some stuff going on, I miss doing this. I like doing this every Sunday. I look forward to it, and I'm actually glad we've actually had the guests we've had. I mean, honestly, I would have never thought, if you would have told us a year ago we would have landed some of these people, I would have told you out of your head. There's no way.
Simon, add up the subscriber count of all your guests. No.
No.
But we're already over 3 million.
Right.
When we had Saf and John on.
Yeah, no shit. So, but yeah, it's we're looking. I just like bringing this. I like doing this. Like I said, me and Matt aren't going to care about growing it. If it grows, great.
And get to know the people behind the channels that we all watch and love, and you guys get to meet and chat and ask questions and get to know the people behind the channels, not just the person that. Like Sam says at the beginning of the shows, we know what you think of this phone, that phone, tech, and this, that, and the other. But what we like to know is who the person is, what you do enjoy, what you use, how you got started. That's the point of what we do.
Right. And we like doing it, and also because the people who are in the chat, like Eric Eyes and Simon and Aditya and everybody who comes in every week. And then I saw Dan Tannen popped in, and I saw TK was in. I know, and I think a lot of people do actually listen during the stream, but they just don't chat because they've got to kind of do things, and they listen to it in the background. But yeah, we do it for you guys because it's fun.
Interesting.
Yeah,
we are not interesting. The only reason we are doing this so well is because we are. I don't know. We bounce off each other really well.
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think I've had other people listen to it that don't know me, and they obviously never met you, and they like it. They're like, "Man, this is pretty cool." Like it flows.
There is somebody who watches the show that is in the Discord now, and he is from right here in Derby.
Really?
I couldn't believe it. I was like, "What? Okay, Hilton."
Cool.
It's just not far. You're just in Derby, and I was like. Right, cool. That's awesome. That's just when he sees me on the street, he goes, "I'll start screaming and shouting." Woo! You've officially got a fan base in Derby.
Yeah. Matt's gonna be walking down the street and be like, looking around, who's following me? I don't think anybody. Well, here's the only person I think who is C Kid. He was the only one that I knew that was from this area. And then Andrew. Andrew's not from this. He lives in Middle Missouri, which is pretty close. He's about an hour, closer to 2. So if Andrew's in the chat, he probably isn't. He's busy with stuff. But if he's listening, we need to get together. We need to have I need to go down to Andrew's when things kind of calm down and do a show from Andrew's house. We'll have Andrew on. We'll just do a live show from there, and that kind of thing. It'll be kind of cool. So we do it.
I'm just gonna go down. Oh wait, I can't.
Eventually, you're gonna come here. We'll get you here.
No, not there. I don't give a shit about coming to see you, motherfucker. I could get Chris. Go and see Chris. Go and see Joe.
Yep.
I can go see anybody.
I'll probably fly to
because I live in England and I'm about 6 hours away from fucking everyone. So
right, I'll fly there myself. I'm coming to visit, and I'm not even gonna leave it up to you to get me fish and chips because I'm just gonna go myself. But you're gonna hook me up, right?
I'm gonna hook me. It's the best place in Derby to get fish and chips.
Sweet.
I'm gonna give them a shout out. It is Shelton Lock Fish Bar. Shelton Lock is it's like a suburb. It's like a place within Derby. Like I live in Alveston. Shelton Lock's another place just a bit further up the road.
Yeah.
It's where I grew up and where my mum and dad still live. And the fish bar there, people actually travel from all over the place to come and eat their food.
Now, do they just where's the place around you?
They kebabs, fish and chips, pies.
Not pie meaning with fruit, like meat pies, like mince pies and stuff like that. I want to make sure I know what you're talking about. And also, do they still do the English breakfast or is that a meat pie? Right. Well, they don't have those. No,
the fish bar Shepherd's pie. English breakfast, but Britannia Cafe do, and I will take you there. Do not worry about that.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure I get the full experience and all that kind of stuff. I want to do all that.
Oh, I know the best places in Derby. They're definitely not the best places in England, but they're the best places I can get you to.
Yeah, proper meat pie, not that diabetic American stuff. Oh yeah, okay. No,
Pucker pie. Oh yeah.
What is it?
Pucker pie.
Pucker pie. What? Oh, okay.
Pucker.
Yeah.
P-U-K-K-A pie.
Pucker pie. Okay. Oh, gotcha. I will. So anyway, that's the show. We had Matt on. He was an awesome guest as always. If you aren't listening to him or following him or paying attention to him, not you, Matt. The Matt from Ontario.
Next time I'm just going to put my name as the other one, and then we'll just roll with it.
Yeah, not that Matt, the other Matt. I'm Pork, the other Matt.
I'm the other one. I'm the less important one.
I don't think we have a Sam unless the only Sam I know of on YouTube is the guy the Australian guy who does Sam. God, what's his name? I'm trying to blank on his name.
See, you don't even know his name.
Oh, I do. I mean, I watch his videos. He does all sorts of best apps, best apps of Sam. God damn it, that's driving me crazy. Anyway, I'll figure it later. It's no big deal. So, but yeah, we have a good guest lined up next week. So we're gonna have Uncle Spurt. We might have Tom, the tech chat, which would be kind of cool. And if not, we'll have Chris, which is always a fun time. Chris is awesome, by the way. He's one of my favorite. Chris is great.
He's one of the best people I know.
Sam Beckman is his name. I think his name is Sam Beckman.
That still doesn't make it any different. We don't know who that is.
Well, I know you guys don't know, but somebody might know who he is. I used to follow him all the time when he does a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yes, Joe.
Jesus Christ. All right. Great. I know. It's awesome. So anyways, that's the show. Thanks for anybody paying attention and staying with us after Matt took off and listening to us rant for about 20 or so minutes after the show. We love you guys. Tune in next Sunday, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, GMT for Across the Pondcast, the best podcast you never heard of. Sam and Matt, be good. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Don't do anything I wouldn't do or Matt wouldn't do.
Not much.
Probably everything. Love you guys. Catch you next week.